If you got arrested last Black Friday and didn't even know why, this video might explain it. Because in some places, what you did in that store could have been completely illegal. Black Friday. The one day of the year where chaos is not just expected, it's practically encouraged. People camp outside stores, trample each other for discounted TVs, and fight over the last pair of socks like their lives depend on it. But what most people don't realize is that there are actual laws specifically created because of Black Friday madness. And some of them are so bizarre, you won't believe they're real. I spent weeks digging through legal codes, city ordinances, and retail regulations from around the world, and what I found is absolutely wild. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into 50 of the freakiest Black Friday laws that actually exist. Here's the thing. Most people think Black Friday is just controlled chaos with no real rules. You show up, you shop, you maybe shove someone out of the way, and you go home with your deals. But that's where you're wrong. Over the years, the madness of Black Friday has gotten so out of hand that lawmakers had to step in. And when I say out of hand, I mean people have literally died during Black Friday stampedes. Employees have been trampled. Fights have broken out over waffle makers. It got so bad that governments around the world started creating specific laws just to handle this one shopping day. The problem is, nobody knows about these laws. You could be breaking them right now and not even realize it. You could be planning your Black Friday strategy for next year and accidentally planning to commit a crime. So let's fix that. Let's go through these laws one by one, from the weird to the absolutely insane, and I promise you by the end of this video, you'll never look at Black Friday the same way again. But before we get into the specific laws, let me paint you a picture of why these laws even exist in the first place. Black Friday started in the United States as just another shopping day after Thanksgiving. Stores would open early, offer some deals, and people would casually browse for Christmas gifts. It was calm. It was normal. It was boring, but then something changed. Retailers realized they could create urgency. They could manufacture scarcity. They could turn shopping into a competitive sport. And that's exactly what they did. They started advertising doorbusters, limited quantities, once-in-a-lifetime deals. They made people believe that if they didn't get to the store at 5 in the morning, they'd miss out on something incredible. And people bought into it. Literally, the crowds got bigger, the deals got more aggressive, the atmosphere got more intense, and before anyone realized what was happening, Black Friday had transformed from a casual shopping day into a full-blown cultural phenomenon that resembled something closer to a gladiator arena than a retail experience. People started camping outside stores days in advance. They brought tents, sleeping bags, portable heaters. They formed lines that stretched around entire city blocks. And when those doors finally opened, it was like watching a dam break. Hundreds of people would surge forward all at once, pushing, shoving, fighting their way to whatever deal they came for. Security guards couldn't control it. Store employees couldn't manage it. It was pure chaos. And that chaos led to injuries, serious injuries, broken bones, concussions, trampling incidents, and in the worst cases, deaths. That's when lawmakers started paying attention. When shopping becomes dangerous enough to kill people, something has to change. So governments around the world started implementing regulations. Some were designed to protect customers. Others were meant to protect employees. Some focused on crowd control and safety. Others targeted false advertising and deceptive business practices. And all of them were created because Black Friday had gone from a shopping event to a legitimate public safety concern. Now, with all that context in mind, let's dive into the actual laws. And trust me, some of these are going to shock you. Law number 1. In some parts of California, stores are legally required to have a minimum number of security guards on Black Friday based on their square footage. This isn't a suggestion, it's the law. The specific regulation varies by city and county. But the general rule is that for every certain number of square feet, you need at least one trained security professional on site. If your store is bigger, you need more guards. And we're not talking about random employees wearing security badges. We're talking about licensed, trained security personnel who know how to handle crowd control and emergency situations. If a store violates this law, they can face hefty fines. In some jurisdictions, the fine can be thousands of dollars per violation. And if someone gets injured because the store didn't have adequate security, the legal liability becomes even worse. The store could be sued for negligence. They could face criminal charges for failing to provide a safe environment. And in extreme cases, they could even lose their business license. This law exists because California has had some of the most intense Black Friday incidents in the country. There have been multiple cases of stampedes, fights, and even shootings in parking lots outside stores. The state government decided enough was enough and implemented strict security requirements. And honestly, when you look at the footage from some of these incidents, you can see why this law is necessary. Without proper security, these stores would be absolute war zones. Law number 2. In Rhode Island, it's illegal for retail employees to work more than 12 consecutive hours on Black Friday without a break. This law was created after multiple employees collapsed from exhaustion during Black Friday shifts. And I'm not exaggerating when I say collapsed. We're talking about people literally passing out on the sales floor because they hadn't eaten, hadn't drunk water, and hadn't sat down in over 15 hours. Some stores were making their workers pull 16-hour shifts, sometimes even 24-hour shifts, without any real breaks. The employees would come in at midnight to start setting up for the early morning doorbuster deals. Then they'd work straight through the opening rush, which could be absolute chaos for hours. Then they'd have to deal with the steady stream of customers throughout the day. Then they'd have to help with restocking and clean up after closing. By the time they left, they'd been on their feet for an entire day with maybe a 15-minute break to scarf down some food in the back room. Rhode Island saw this happening and said it's not acceptable. The state implemented a law that specifically protects retail workers during major shopping events like Black Friday. The law states that no employee can work more than 12 consecutive hours without a mandatory break period. And we're not talking about a 5-minute break. We're talking about a real break where they can sit down, eat a proper meal, rest, and recover. If a store violates this law, they face fines for each employee affected. The fines can add up quickly if you're running a large store with dozens of workers. More importantly, the law sends a message that workers are human beings who deserve to be treated with basic dignity, even during the busiest shopping day of the year. It's easy for corporations to view employees as just cogs in the machine, but laws like this force them to remember that these are real people with physical limitations. Law number 3. In parts of Texas, it's illegal to block emergency exits during Black Friday sales. You'd think this would be common sense, right? Don't block the exits. It's a basic fire safety rule that applies every single day of the year. But apparently, during Black Friday, common sense goes out the window. Stores were packing so many people inside that emergency exits were completely blocked by crowds. Not just partially blocked, completely blocked. You couldn't even see the exit doors because there were dozens of people standing in front of them. The fire marshal's office in several Texas cities started noticing this pattern. They do inspections during Black Friday sales and find that stores were violating multiple fire codes. Emergency exits were blocked. Aisles were too narrow to allow evacuation. The total number of people inside the building exceeded the maximum occupancy limit. It was a disaster waiting to happen, so Texas implemented specific regulations for Black Friday sales. Stores are now required to keep all emergency exits completely clear at all times. They have to have staff members stationed near exits to make sure crowds don't block them. They have to maintain clear pathways to exits throughout the entire store. And they have to stay within the maximum occupancy limits set by the fire code. If a store violates these rules, the consequences are severe. The fire marshal can shut down the entire sale immediately, the store can be fined thousands of dollars, and if there's an emergency and people get hurt because exits were blocked, the store and its management can face criminal charges. We're talking about potential manslaughter charges if someone dies because they couldn't escape a fire or other emergency. This law exists because fire safety isn't negotiable. It doesn't matter how good your deals are. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. If people can't get out of your building in an emergency, you're putting lives at risk. And Texas decided that's not acceptable under any circumstances. Law number 4. In Massachusetts, any retail store offering Black Friday deals must clearly display the original price alongside the sale price. This law is all about preventing false advertising and deceptive pricing practices. Here's how the scam used to work. A store would sell an item for $50 all year long. Then, a few weeks before Black Friday, they'd raise the price to $100. Nobody would buy it at that price, but that wasn't the point. The point was to create an artificial original price that they could compare against. Then Black Friday would roll around and they'd put the item on sale for $50, $75, $60, whatever, and they'd advertise it as 50% off, or save $50. Because technically, compared to the inflated price they set a few weeks earlier, it was a discount. But in reality, customers weren't getting a deal at all. They were paying the same price or sometimes even more than the item normally costs. Massachusetts saw this happening across multiple retailers and decided it was fraud. The state implemented a law requiring stores to display both the current sale price and the regular price from before the pre-Black Friday markup. Some stores tried to get around this by displaying the inflated price as the regular price, but the law was written to prevent that. The regular price has to be the actual price the item sold for during most of the year, not some made-up number. If a store violates this law, they can be fined by the state attorney general's office. Customers who were deceived can also file complaints and potentially join class action lawsuits against the retailer. The law has teeth and it's forced stores to be more honest about their pricing. The interesting thing about this law is that it's revealed just how many deals aren't actually deals at all. When stores are forced to show the real regular price, customers can see that they're only saving $5 or $10, not the $50 or $100 the store was claiming. It's made people more skeptical of Black Friday sales in general, which is probably a good thing. Informed consumers make better decisions. Law number 5. In France, Black Friday promotions can't be called Black Friday anymore in some regions. This one is wild. Several cities and regions in France have actually banned the term Black Friday entirely. The reasoning behind this ban is rooted in environmental concerns and anti-consumerism movements. French lawmakers and activists argue that Black Friday promotes overconsumption, waste, and environmental destruction. They see it as an American import that encourages people to buy things they don't need, which leads to more production, more shipping, more packaging, and more trash. The ban started in smaller cities and has been spreading. In places where the term is banned, stores can't use Black Friday in their advertising, signage, or promotional materials. They have to call it something else. Discount Day. Special sale event. End of year promotion. Whatever, just not Black Friday. If a store violates this ban, they can be fined by the local government. The fines aren't huge, but they're significant enough to make stores comply. More importantly, there's a social pressure aspect to it. In regions where Black Friday is seen as environmentally harmful and culturally destructive, stores don't want to be seen as the bad guys promoting it. This law represents a fundamental disagreement about what shopping should be. In the United States, Black Friday is seen as a fun tradition and an economic driver. In parts of France, it's seen as a symbol of everything wrong with modern consumer culture. It's a fascinating cultural divide, and it shows that not every country embraces Black Friday the way America does. The environmental argument is worth considering. Black Friday does lead to a massive spike in consumption. People buy things they don't need because the deal is too good to pass up. Then those items sit in closets or garages unused, or they get thrown away a few months later. The production of all those goods requires resources, energy, and labor. The shipping creates emissions. The packaging creates waste. From an environmental perspective, Black Friday is kind of a disaster. France's response has been to push back against the entire concept. Instead of trying to regulate Black Friday to make it safer or fairer, they're trying to eliminate it altogether. Whether that approach will work remains to be seen, but it's definitely one of the more radical responses to Black Friday madness. Law number 6. In New York City, if a stampede occurs at a Black Friday sale and someone gets injured, the store can be held legally responsible. This law came directly from a tragedy. In 2008, a Walmart employee in Long Island was trampled to death when a Black Friday crowd broke down the doors and rushed into the store. His name was Jadimitai Damour, and he was only 34 years old. He was doing his job, trying to manage the crowd, when the surge happened. He fell, and the crowd just kept moving. They trampled him. Other employees tried to help, but they couldn't reach him through the mass of people. By the time the crowd cleared, he was dead. That incident shocked the entire country. People couldn't believe that someone had actually died over Black Friday shopping. The store faced massive public backlash. There were protests, lawsuits, investigations, and ultimately changes to the law. New York implemented regulations that hold stores accountable for crowd control. If a stampede happens and someone gets injured or killed, the store can be held criminally and civilly liable. The key factor is whether the store took reasonable precautions to prevent the stampede. Did they have enough security? Did they control the crowd before opening? Did they have barriers and organized entry procedures? If the answer to any of those questions is no, the store is in serious legal trouble. The penalties can include criminal charges against store management, massive fines, and civil lawsuits from victims or their families. The Walmart where Damour died ended up paying millions in settlements and fines. The company also had to implement new crowd management procedures at all their stores nationwide. This law is important because it shifts responsibility onto the people who create these dangerous situations. Stores benefit financially from Black Friday. They're the ones advertising the deals, creating the urgency, and inviting thousands of people to show up at the same time. So if something goes wrong, they should be held accountable. They can't just throw their hands up and say, "We didn't know this would happen," when they are the ones who orchestrated the entire event. Law number 7. In Germany, stores are not allowed to open before a certain time on Black Friday to prevent overnight camping. Germany takes a very different approach to Black Friday than the United States. The German government has decided that the overnight camping phenomenon is dangerous, disruptive, and unnecessary, so they've implemented strict regulations on when stores can open. In most German cities, stores cannot open before 6 or 7 in the morning on Black Friday. Some cities set the time even later. The exact time varies by location, but the principle is the same. No early morning doorbusters, no midnight openings, no 3 a.m. special deals. The reasoning behind this law is multifaceted. First, it's a safety issue. When people camp outside stores overnight, they're exposed to cold weather, potential crime, and health risks. There have been cases of people getting hypothermia, being robbed, or getting into fights while waiting in line overnight. Germany decided that no discount is worth putting people through that. Second, it's a quality of life issue for the surrounding community. When hundreds of people are camping outside a store, it creates noise, trash, and congestion. Residents who live near these stores have to deal with crowds on their streets all night long. It disrupts sleep, blocks sidewalks, and generally makes life miserable for anyone trying to go about their normal routine. Third, it's a worker protection issue. If stores open at midnight or 3 in the morning, employees have to work overnight shifts. They have to be at the store even earlier to prepare. It disrupts their sleep schedules and family lives. Germany has strong worker protection laws, and this is an extension of those protections. If a store violates this law and opens early, they face fines from the local government. The fines can be substantial, especially for repeat offenders. More importantly, the government can revoke the store's operating license if they continue to violate the regulations. That's a death sentence for a retail business. Germany's approach shows that Black Friday doesn't have to be a chaotic free-for-all. You can still have sales and deals without creating dangerous situations. By setting reasonable opening times, Germany has managed to have Black Friday shopping without the extreme madness that characterizes the event in other countries. Law number 8. In some counties in Florida, it's illegal to use pepper spray during a Black Friday sale. Yes, this had to become a law. Because yes, people were actually using pepper spray on each other during Black Friday sales. The most famous incident happened in 2011 at a Walmart in Los Angeles, where a woman pepper sprayed other customers so she could get to the Xbox games first. She sprayed at least 20 people, including children. It was absolutely insane. But it wasn't an isolated incident. There have been multiple reports over the years of people using pepper spray, mace, or other defensive weapons during Black Friday shopping. Sometimes it's to clear a path to a product. Sometimes it's retaliation after someone cuts in line. Sometimes it's just because tensions are high and people snap. Florida, being Florida, had its share of these incidents. So certain counties implemented specific laws making it illegal to possess or use pepper spray inside retail stores during major shopping events. The law treats it as assault because that's exactly what it is. If you pepper spray someone, you're attacking them. It doesn't matter if you're doing it to get a better deal on a TV. The penalties for violating this law can be severe. You can be arrested on the spot. You can be charged with assault, which can be a felony depending on the circumstances. You can be banned from the store. You can face civil lawsuits from anyone you injured. And all of this over what? A discounted electronic device that you could probably find online for a similar price? This law exists because people lose all sense of perspective during Black Friday. They become so focused on getting the deal that they forget they're committing crimes. They forget that there are real consequences for assaulting other human beings. They need laws like this to remind them that no, you cannot pepper spray your fellow shoppers, even if they grabbed the last TV you wanted. The broader question this law raises is about the culture of Black Friday itself. When shopping becomes so competitive that people are willing to use weapons against each other, maybe we've gone too far. Maybe we need to step back and ask whether any of this is worth it. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about stuff, material possessions, things that will be outdated or broken in a few years anyway. Is that really worth assaulting someone? Law number 9. In parts of Australia, it's illegal for stores to falsely claim an item is almost sold out to create urgency. This law targets a specific manipulation tactic that retailers love to use. It's called false scarcity. The idea is simple. People want things more when they think those things are rare or running out. So stores will put up signs saying only 5 left, or almost sold out, or limited quantities available, even when they have hundreds of the item in the back room. It's a psychological trick. When you see a sign that says only 3 left, your brain shifts into panic mode. You think you need to buy it right now, or you'll miss out. You don't take time to think about whether you actually need the item or whether the price is actually a good deal. You just buy it because scarcity triggers a primal response in your brain. Australian consumer protection agencies caught on to this tactic and decided it was deceptive advertising. They implemented regulations requiring stores to be truthful about inventory levels. If you say something is almost sold out, it better actually be almost sold out. You can't claim scarcity when you have plenty of stock. The enforcement of this law happens through consumer complaints and government audits. If customers report that a store claimed an item was running out when it clearly wasn't, investigators can look into it. If they find evidence of false scarcity marketing, the store gets fined. The fines scale based on the severity of the violation and whether it's a repeat offense. What's interesting is that this law has made retailers more creative with their marketing. Instead of false scarcity, they use other psychological tricks. Time-limited offers, bundle deals, loyalty program exclusives. The manipulation hasn't gone away. It's just evolved into forms that are technically legal. But the law does provide some protection for consumers. It means that when you see a low stock warning, there's at least some truth to it. You can make decisions based on more accurate information. And if stores are caught lying, they face real consequences. Law number 10. In the UK, if you run a Black Friday ad that causes a dangerous rush of customers, you can be held liable for inciting public disorder. This law came about after several incidents where advertising led directly to dangerous situations. The most notable case was when a major electronics retailer advertised massive discounts on TVs. The ad went viral. It was shared across social media. People talked about it at work and with friends. By the time Black Friday arrived, thousands of people showed up at stores that were only designed to hold a few hundred customers safely. The result was chaos. Crowds pressed against the doors before opening. When the doors finally opened, people surged forward. There was pushing, shoving, people falling down. Some people got trampled, others got into fights. Police had to be called to multiple locations to restore order. In some cases, the stores had to be shut down entirely because the situation was too dangerous. The UK government investigated these incidents and determined that the advertising itself was partially to blame. The retailers had created unrealistic expectations about the deals and availability. They'd used language and imagery designed to create maximum urgency and excitement. They'd effectively weaponized FOMO, fear of missing out, to drive customer traffic, but they hadn't adequately prepared for the results of their own marketing. So the UK implemented regulations holding retailers liable for the foreseeable consequences of their advertising. If your ad creates a dangerous situation, you can be charged with inciting public disorder. It's similar to how you can be held responsible for inciting a riot. The logic is that if you create the conditions for dangerous behavior, you share responsibility for what happens. The penalties include fines, potential criminal charges against company executives, and civil liability for anyone injured in the chaos. Stores can also lose their business licenses if they repeatedly create dangerous situations. This law has forced retailers to be more responsible with their marketing. They still advertise Black Friday deals, but they're more careful about the language they use and the expectations they set. They also invest more in crowd control measures, security, and operational planning to handle the crowds their advertising attracts. Law number 11. In parts of Canada, stores must provide free water stations during Black Friday sales. This sounds like a small thing, but it's actually really important. When you have hundreds or thousands of people packed into a store for hours, dehydration becomes a real concern. People get so focused on shopping that they forget to drink water. They're running around, standing in lines, carrying heavy items, dealing with stress and crowds. All of that leads to dehydration. The symptoms of dehydration can range from mild to severe: headaches, dizziness, fatigue, confusion. In extreme cases, people can pass out or have more serious medical emergencies. Canadian health officials noticed a pattern of people having medical issues during Black Friday sales, and many of those issues were related to dehydration. So several provinces and municipalities implemented regulations requiring stores to provide free water stations during major shopping events. The stations have to be clearly marked and easily accessible. They need to have cups or bottles available, and they need to be maintained throughout the entire sale period. This law serves multiple purposes. Obviously, it helps keep customers healthy and safe, but it also reduces the burden on emergency services. When fewer people are passing out from dehydration, fewer ambulances need to be called. That means emergency responders are available for more serious emergencies. It's also just good customer service. When stores provide water, customers can shop longer and more comfortably. They're less likely to leave early because they're feeling unwell. They're more likely to have a positive experience and come back in the future. The enforcement of this law is fairly straightforward. Health and safety inspectors can visit stores during Black Friday sales to ensure compliance. If a store doesn't have water stations set up, they can be fined. The fines aren't enormous, but they're significant enough to ensure compliance. More importantly, stores don't want the bad publicity that would come from being cited for not providing water to their customers. Law number 12. In some US states, it's illegal to advertise a Black Friday deal if you only have a limited quantity without disclosing exactly how many items are available. This is another anti-deception law. The classic bait and switch works like this. A store advertises an amazing deal. 50-inch TV for $100. Gaming console for $99. Laptop for $200. People see the ad and get excited. They plan their whole Black Friday around getting that deal. They camp outside the store. They're first in line when doors open. But here's the catch. The store only has 3 of the item in stock. Maybe 5. Maybe 10. Out of the thousands of people who showed up hoping to get the deal, only a tiny fraction actually can. Everyone else came for nothing. They wasted their time, their energy, and their sleep. And now they're in the store, so the retailer hopes they'll buy something else instead. Several states decided this practice is deceptive and implemented disclosure requirements. If you're advertising a limited quantity deal, you have to tell people how many items you actually have. The disclosure has to be clear and prominent. You can't hide it in tiny print at the bottom of the ad. Some states go even further and require stores to have a minimum quantity available based on their size or expected customer traffic. The logic is that if you're a big store advertising a major deal, you need to have enough stock to meet reasonable demand. You can't just use the deal as bait to lure customers in with no intention of satisfying that demand. Enforcement happens through state attorney general offices and consumer protection agencies. Customers can file complaints if they believe a store engaged in bait and switch tactics. If investigations confirm the violation, stores face fines and potential legal action. This law has changed how retailers approach their advertising. Many stores now include language like minimum 25 units available per store, or while supplies last, at least 100 units in stock. It's not perfect. You still might not get the deal if you're not early enough, but at least you have some information to make an informed decision about whether it's worth showing up. Law number 13. In South Korea, Black Friday sales can't run for more than 2 consecutive days. South Korea has embraced Black Friday in recent years, but the government wanted to prevent it from getting out of control. They saw what was happening in other countries, where Black Friday was turning into Black Week or even Black Month. Retailers were extending the sales longer and longer, trying to capture more customer spending. The problem with extended sales periods is that they create sustained chaos. Instead of one crazy day, you have a week of crazy days. Employees have to work longer under stressful conditions. Customers feel pressured to keep shopping and comparing prices across multiple days. It turns shopping into an exhausting marathon rather than a single event. South Korea decided to cap it. Black Friday sales can last for a maximum of 2 consecutive days. That's it. You can do Friday and Saturday, Thursday and Friday, whatever, but you can't stretch it into a week-long event. The reasoning is partly about worker protection. Limiting the sale period means employees aren't subjected to extended periods of intense stress and long hours. It also helps small businesses compete. When sales last for a week, big retailers with large inventories and staff have a huge advantage. When it's limited to 2 days, smaller stores can focus their efforts and compete more effectively. The enforcement is straightforward. If a store advertises Black Friday deals for more than 2 days, they can be fined by the government. The fines increase for repeat violations. Stores can still have sales on other days, they just can't call them Black Friday sales or tie them to the Black Friday brand. This law shows a different philosophy about consumer culture. Instead of encouraging maximum consumption, South Korea is trying to contain it. They want the economic benefits of Black Friday without letting it spiral into something that dominates an entire week or month. Law number 14. In parts of Italy, stores are required to have medical personnel on site during major Black Friday events. Italy has taken a proactive approach to Black Friday safety. Rather than just hoping nobody gets hurt, they require stores to have medical professionals ready to respond if something does happen. For major Black Friday events, stores need to have at least one EMT, paramedic, or nurse on site. Larger events require multiple medical personnel. The medical staff need to have a designated area where they can treat people. They need to have basic medical supplies. They need to have communication equipment to call for additional help if necessary. And they need to be clearly identified so people know where to find them if there's an emergency. This requirement came about after several incidents where people had medical emergencies during Black Friday shopping and there was no one qualified to help them. Heart attacks, panic attacks, diabetic episodes, asthma attacks, injuries from falls or crowd crushes. All of these things can and have happened during Black Friday sales. Having medical personnel on site means these emergencies can be addressed immediately. Someone having a heart attack doesn't have to wait for an ambulance to arrive. Someone who's injured can get first aid right away. Someone with diabetes who's been shopping for hours and forgot to eat can get help before they lose consciousness. The cost of having medical personnel on site is borne by the store. It's considered part of the cost of running a major sale event. Stores that don't comply face fines and can have their sales shut down by health authorities. This law represents a recognition that Black Friday is inherently risky. When you pack thousands of people into a confined space, create a high-stress environment, and keep them there for hours, medical emergencies are inevitable. The question is whether you're prepared to handle them. Italy has decided that preparation should be mandatory. Law number 15. In Sweden, it's illegal to push or shove someone to get to a Black Friday deal. This seems incredibly obvious, right? Of course you shouldn't push or shove people. That's just basic decency, and in most contexts, it's already illegal as assault. But Sweden found that during Black Friday, normal rules seemed to go out the window. People were pushing, shoving, and physically fighting over merchandise. When police would be called, they'd face the challenge of sorting through dozens of witnesses with conflicting stories about who pushed whom first. So Sweden created a specific law for Black Friday incidents. If you push or shove someone to get to a product or to cut in line, it's automatically considered assault. There's no gray area. There's no "but they pushed me first" defense. If security footage or witnesses show you pushing someone, you can be charged. The penalties start with fines but can escalate to criminal charges if someone is injured. Even if the push seems minor, if the person falls and gets hurt, you're looking at serious legal consequences. Sweden doesn't mess around with this stuff. The law has been surprisingly effective. When people know there are clear legal consequences for physical aggression during shopping, they're more likely to control themselves. Swedish Black Friday events are now much calmer than they used to be. There are still crowds and competition for deals, but the physical violence has decreased significantly. The enforcement relies heavily on security footage and store security personnel. Most stores now have extensive camera coverage specifically to catch people violating this law. If an incident occurs, security can review the footage, identify the person who pushed or shoved, and provide that information to police. Law number 16. In Japan, some cities have banned doorbusters entirely. A doorbuster is when a store offers an extremely limited quantity of an extremely discounted item for the sole purpose of getting people to rush in when the doors open. 10 TVs for $50 each. 5 laptops for $100 each. The quantities are tiny, but the deals are incredible. The result is that everyone tries to get through the door first, creating a literal stampede. Several Japanese cities decided this practice is too dangerous and banned it outright. Stores can still offer deals. They can still have limited quantities, but they can't advertise doorbusters or create situations where the first people through the door get massive advantages over everyone else. Instead, stores have to use lottery systems or queue management systems. If you want a limited quantity item, you might need to take a number and wait for your number to be called. Or you might need to enter a drawing. The key is that there's no advantage to being physically first through the door. This eliminates the incentive to rush and push. The ban is enforced through local business regulations. Stores that violate the ban can lose their business licenses. For major retailers, that's not a risk worth taking over one day of sales. Japan's approach reflects their broader cultural values around order and safety. The idea of people trampling each other over merchandise is fundamentally opposed to Japanese cultural norms. So when Black Friday was imported to Japan, the government immediately put guardrails in place to prevent the worst aspects of the phenomenon. Law number 17. In some parts of Spain, stores can't offer discounts higher than 70% on Black Friday. This law is designed to prevent false advertising and protect consumers from scams. The logic goes like this. If a product is being sold at 75% off or 80% off, one of two things is happening. Either the original price was massively inflated, or the product is defective or outdated. In the first scenario, the store is deceiving customers. They're making it seem like a huge deal when really the sale price is close to what the item should cost anyway. In the second scenario, customers are being tricked into buying junk. Either way, consumers lose. Spain decided to cap maximum discounts at 70%. Stores can still offer significant deals, but they can't use absurdly high discount percentages to manipulate customers. If a store wants to discount something by more than 70%, they need to clearly disclose why. Is it a floor model? Is it damaged? Is it being discontinued? Customers deserve to know. Enforcement happens through consumer protection agencies. They monitor Black Friday advertising and investigate stores that appear to be violating the cap. Violations result in fines that scale based on the severity and the number of affected customers. This law has made Spanish Black Friday advertising more honest. You still see big discounts, but they're more realistic. And when you do see a 70% off deal, you can have more confidence that it's actually a good value rather than a manipulation tactic. Law number 18. In Brazil, any Black Friday promotion must last at least 24 hours. Brazil has a problem with flash sales. Retailers were advertising amazing Black Friday deals. but then making those deals available for only 30 minutes or an hour. The result was that only people who happened to be online or in the store at that exact moment could take advantage of the deal. Everyone else missed out completely. This created several problems. First, it was frustrating for customers who had planned their day around Black Friday shopping, only to find that all the good deals were already gone by the time they got there. Second, it created artificial scarcity and urgency that pushed people into making rushed panic decisions. Third, it disadvantaged people who had to work or had other commitments during those specific time windows. Brazil decided this wasn't fair and implemented a minimum duration requirement. If you're advertising a Black Friday deal, it has to be available for at least 24 hours. This gives everyone a reasonable opportunity to take advantage of the sale. You don't have to drop everything and rush to the store in the next 30 minutes. You can plan your shopping at a time that works for you. The law has exceptions for truly limited quantity items. If you only have 10 of something in stock, you can't keep the deal active for 24 hours because you'll sell out. But in those cases, you have to clearly disclose the quantity available, which ties back to the transparency laws we talked about earlier. Enforcement happens through consumer protection agencies and customer complaints. If a store advertises a 24-hour sale but pulls the deal after 2 hours, customers can report it. Investigators will look into it, and if the store violated the law, they face fines. This law has changed the character of Black Friday in Brazil. Instead of a frantic race to grab deals before they disappear, it's become more of a leisurely shopping day. People can browse, compare prices, think about their purchases, and make informed decisions. The deals are still good, but the pressure and chaos have been reduced significantly. Law number 19. In parts of Norway, it's illegal to use countdown timers in Black Friday ads. You've definitely seen these. Only 2 hours left. Sale ends in 59 minutes. Hurry, time is running out. These countdown timers create artificial urgency. They trigger anxiety and fear of missing out. They push people to make quick decisions without thinking things through. Norway's consumer protection agencies studied these tactics and determined they're manipulative and harmful to consumers. The timers create psychological pressure that leads to impulse purchases and buyer's remorse. People buy things they do not need and can't afford because they feel like they have to act immediately. So Norway banned countdown timers in advertising. You can still have time-limited sales, but you can't use ticking clocks or countdown displays to create pressure. You can say sale ends Friday night, but you can't have a timer counting down the seconds. The ban applies to all forms of advertising, including online, print, TV, and in-store displays. Stores that violate the ban face fines from consumer protection authorities. The fines increase for repeat violations. What's interesting is how stores have adapted. They still create urgency, but they do it through different means. They might emphasize limited quantities instead of limited time. They might use language like "while supplies last" instead of "only 3 hours left." The manipulation continues, just in forms that are technically legal. But the ban does eliminate one of the most aggressive pressure tactics. Without countdown timers constantly ticking away, customers have a bit more mental space to make rational decisions. It's a small change, but it does make a difference in the overall shopping experience. Law number 20. In some areas of the Netherlands, stores must allow returns on all Black Friday purchases within 30 days. No questions asked. This law is all about protecting consumers from impulse buying and defective products. Black Friday creates an environment where people make quick decisions. You see a deal, you grab it, you buy it, you move on to the next thing. There's no time to carefully consider whether you actually need the item or whether it's the right choice for you. The result is that a lot of Black Friday purchases end up being regretted. You get home, look at what you bought, and realize you don't actually need it. Or you try to use it and discover it's poor quality or doesn't work properly. In normal circumstances, stores might give you a hard time about returns, especially during busy periods. The Netherlands decided that consumers need protection from these situations. The 30-day return law means you have a full month to decide whether you want to keep your Black Friday purchases. If you change your mind for any reason, you can return the item and get a full refund. No questions asked, no restocking fees, no hassle. This law shifts the risk from consumers to retailers. Stores can't just push inferior products during Black Friday and then refuse returns. They have to stand behind what they sell. If they're offering junk just to move inventory, they'll end up dealing with massive return volumes. The enforcement is straightforward. If a store refuses a valid return, customers can file complaints with consumer protection agencies. The agencies investigate, and if the store violated the law, they face fines and potential legal action. This law has made Dutch consumers more confident about Black Friday shopping. They know they have a safety net. If they make a mistake or get caught up in the excitement and buy something they don't need, they can fix it. This actually encourages more shopping in some ways because people aren't as afraid of making a wrong decision. Law number 21. In parts of India, stores are required to have separate lines for senior citizens and pregnant women during Black Friday sales. This is one of the most thoughtful and compassionate laws on this list. Black Friday crowds are physically demanding. There's pushing, long periods of standing, carrying heavy items, navigating through packed aisles. For some people, this is just annoying. For others, it's genuinely dangerous. Senior citizens are at risk of being knocked over in crowds. They may have mobility issues that make it hard to stand for long periods. They may have health conditions that make the stress and physical demands of Black Friday shopping risky. The same goes for pregnant women who face additional physical challenges and health risks. India recognized that these vulnerable populations deserve to participate in Black Friday sales without putting their health at risk. So several states and cities implemented laws requiring stores to have separate, dedicated lines for senior citizens and pregnant women. These lines typically move faster and have chairs or benches where people can sit while waiting. The separate lines mean these customers don't have to compete with the general crowd. They don't have to worry about being pushed or shoved. They can shop at their own pace in a safer, more comfortable environment. Store staff are also trained to provide additional assistance to people using these lines. Enforcement happens through store inspections and customer complaints. If a store doesn't provide the required separate lines, they can be fined by local authorities. The fines scale based on the size of the store and whether it's a repeat violation. This law represents a recognition that not all customers are the same. A one-size-fits-all approach to Black Friday shopping creates barriers for people with special needs. By accommodating those needs, India has made Black Friday more inclusive and accessible. Law number 22. In Denmark, it's illegal to hire temporary employees for Black Friday without giving them the same pay and benefits as full-time staff. Denmark has some of the strongest worker protection laws in the world, and they extend to Black Friday. Retailers were exploiting a loophole where they'd hire temporary workers specifically for Black Friday and pay them lower wages with no benefits. These temp workers would do the exact same job as full-time employees, but get paid significantly less. Denmark decided this was exploitation and closed the loophole. Now, if you hire someone to work Black Friday, they get the same hourly pay and the same benefits as your regular employees. Equal work means equal pay, even if someone is only employed for a single day. This law has several effects. First, it protects workers from being taken advantage of. No one should have to work for poverty wages just because they're temporary. Second, it removes the financial incentive for stores to use temp workers instead of their regular staff. If temp workers cost the same as regular employees, stores might as well schedule their existing staff. Third, it improves the quality of the shopping experience. Temp workers who are brought in just for Black Friday often haven't been properly trained. They don't know the store layout, the products, or the systems. This leads to mistakes, poor customer service, and a frustrating experience for everyone. When stores use properly trained regular staff, everything runs more smoothly. Enforcement happens through labor unions and government labor agencies. Workers can report violations, and labor inspectors can audit stores to ensure compliance. Violations result in fines and potential criminal charges for wage theft. Denmark's approach shows that worker protection doesn't have to be sacrificed for retail profits. You can have successful Black Friday sales while still treating employees fairly and paying them properly. Law number 23. In parts of Poland, stores can't send promotional Black Friday emails more than once a day. Poland had a serious spam problem. As Black Friday approached, people would get bombarded with dozens of promotional emails from the same store, sometimes hundreds of emails over the course of a week. It was overwhelming, annoying, and many people felt it was harassment. The problem got bad enough that people started ignoring all promotional emails, which defeated the purpose for retailers. If customers just delete your emails without reading them, your marketing isn't working. Poland decided to step in and regulate email frequency. The law is simple. During Black Friday promotional periods, stores can send a maximum of one promotional email per day to each customer. You can send one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and so on. But you can't send 5 emails in a single day. There are some exceptions. Transactional emails don't count. If someone places an order, you can send order confirmation, shipping notification, and delivery confirmation emails without those counting toward your daily limit. The restriction only applies to promotional marketing emails. Enforcement happens through consumer protection agencies and spam complaint systems. If customers report excessive emails, investigators can look into it. Stores that violate the law face fines based on the number of illegal emails sent and the number of customers affected. This law has improved the email marketing landscape in Poland. Stores have to be more strategic about their messaging. They can't just blast out constant emails hoping something sticks. They have to craft meaningful, valuable emails that customers will actually want to read. Law number 24. In South Africa, if a Black Friday deal is advertised but the item is out of stock, the store must offer a rain check or equivalent product at the same price. South Africa has dealt with a lot of false advertising around Black Friday. Stores would advertise incredible deals, customers would show up, and the items would be out of stock. Maybe they never had them in the first place. Maybe they had a tiny quantity that sold out immediately. Either way, customers felt deceived. This law holds stores accountable. If you advertise a deal and don't have the product available, you can't just shrug and say, "Sorry, sold out." You have to provide a rain check that allows the customer to purchase the item at the advertised price when it's back in stock. Or you have to offer an equivalent product at the same sale price. The equivalent product clause is important. Some stores tried to get around the law by offering rain checks, but then never restocking the item. The customer would come back repeatedly and never be able to actually redeem the rain check. Now, if you can't fulfill the rain check within a reasonable time frame, you have to offer something equivalent. Enforcement happens through consumer complaints and investigations. If multiple customers report that a store advertised a product but couldn't provide it, investigators will look into whether the store had adequate stock or made a good faith effort to fulfill the promotion. Stores that are found to have engaged in deceptive advertising face fines and potential legal action. This law has made South African retailers more honest about their inventory. If you're going to advertise something, you better have it. The days of using phantom deals to lure customers into stores are largely over. Law number 25. In some parts of Belgium, stores are legally required to fact-check their Black Friday ads before publishing them. Belgium takes truth in advertising very seriously. The government noticed that Black Friday ads were full of exaggerated claims. Best deal of the year, lowest prices ever, unbeatable savings. Most of these claims were impossible to verify and probably untrue. So Belgium implemented a fact-checking requirement. Before you publish a Black Friday ad, you need to be able to back up any factual claims you make. If you say it's the lowest price of the year, you need records showing that you've never sold it for less. If you claim 70% off, you need documentation of the regular price and the sale price. The requirement doesn't apply to obvious puffery like amazing deals, because that's subjective opinion, but any claim that sounds factual needs to be verifiable. Stores are required to keep documentation of all claims made in their advertising and produce that documentation if challenged. Enforcement happens through advertising standards authorities and consumer protection agencies. If customers complain about false advertising, investigators can demand to see the store's supporting documentation. If the store can't provide it, or if the documentation proves the claim was false, they face significant fines. This law has made Belgian Black Friday advertising more subdued and honest. You see fewer superlatives and exaggerated claims. Instead, stores focus on specific, verifiable information. This TV is €200 today, usually €400. Simple, factual, honest. Law number 26. In parts of Austria, it's illegal to block public sidewalks with Black Friday lines. This law addresses a quality of life issue for people who aren't participating in Black Friday. When stores have massive lines of people waiting outside, those lines often extend down the sidewalk for entire city blocks. This makes it difficult or impossible for other pedestrians to use the sidewalk. People trying to get to work, go to other shops, or just walk through their neighborhood have to navigate around the line or walk in the street. It's frustrating for them, and it can be dangerous when people are forced into traffic because the sidewalk is blocked. Austria decided that Black Friday lines can't be allowed to impede public access to sidewalks. Stores are responsible for managing their lines in a way that keeps at least half of the sidewalk clear for through traffic. If a store expects massive lines, they need to set up queue management systems that keep people in an organized area rather than spread out along the sidewalk. If a store's line blocks the sidewalk, local authorities can fine the store. In extreme cases, they can shut down the sale entirely until the store fixes the problem. The store is also liable if someone is injured because they had to walk in the street to avoid the line. Enforcement is pretty straightforward. Police and city officials patrol during Black Friday looking for blocked sidewalks. If they find violations, they issue citations on the spot. Stores know this, so most of them proactively set up proper queue management to avoid the hassle. This law balances the interests of retailers and customers who want to participate in Black Friday with the interests of the broader community who just want to go about their normal lives. Public spaces should remain public even during shopping holidays. Law number 27. In some areas of Switzerland, stores can't play loud music during Black Friday sales. This law is based on research showing that loud music increases stress and aggression in crowds. When you have hundreds of people packed into a confined space, all competing for limited deals, the environment is already tense. Adding loud, energetic music to the mix makes people more aggressive and more likely to act impulsively. Switzerland reviewed studies on crowd psychology and decided that noise control was an important safety measure. They implemented maximum volume limits for stores during major shopping events. The exact decibel limit varies by location, but the principle is the same everywhere. Keep the music at a reasonable level that doesn't contribute to crowd stress. The law doesn't ban music entirely. Stores can still play music to create atmosphere. It just can't be so loud that it's overwhelming or stress-inducing. The goal is to keep the shopping environment as calm as possible given the circumstances. Enforcement happens through noise complaints and inspections. If neighbors or customers complain about excessive noise, authorities can measure the sound level and issue citations if it exceeds legal limits. Stores face fines for violations. This law is part of Switzerland's broader approach to making Black Friday safer and more manageable. They've implemented multiple regulations aimed at reducing stress, aggression, and chaos. The volume limits are just one piece of a comprehensive safety strategy. Law number 28. In parts of Ireland, it's illegal to advertise Black Friday deals to children under the age of 16. Ireland has strong protections against marketing to children, and they extend to Black Friday. The government recognizes that children are more vulnerable to manipulative advertising. They don't have the experience or critical thinking skills to evaluate whether a deal is actually good or whether they're being manipulated. The law prohibits stores from creating Black Friday ads that are specifically targeted at children. This includes ads on children's TV channels, ads in schools or youth-oriented spaces, and ads that use child-focused characters or themes. The goal is to prevent children from pressuring their parents to buy things based on Black Friday marketing. There's also a broader educational component. Ireland has implemented programs teaching children about consumer manipulation and advertising tactics. They want young people to grow up understanding how marketing works so they can make informed decisions as adult consumers. Enforcement happens through advertising standards authorities. If an ad appears to target children, the authorities investigate. If they determine the ad violated the law, the company faces fines and has to pull the ad immediately. This law reflects Ireland's values around childhood and commercialism. Children should be allowed to be children without being constantly marketed to. Black Friday deals are for adults to evaluate and decide on. Children shouldn't be enlisted as pressure tools to get parents to buy more stuff. Law number 29. In some regions of Greece, stores must close for at least 1 hour during Black Friday for a mandatory employee break. This law recognizes that Black Friday is physically and mentally exhausting for retail employees. They're dealing with massive crowds, stressed customers, and constant activity for hours on end. Without breaks, employees burn out, make mistakes, and can even become ill. Greece implemented a mandatory break period. During Black Friday, stores must close for at least 1 hour sometime during the operating day. During this hour, all employees get a real break. They can sit down, eat a proper meal, rest, use the bathroom, and recover before the next shift. The timing of the break is up to the store, but it has to happen. Some stores close mid-afternoon during a natural lull in traffic. Others rotate breaks, so different sections of the store close at different times. The key is that every employee gets that 1 hour break. Enforcement happens through labor inspections and employee complaints. If workers report that they didn't get the required break, labor authorities investigate. Stores that violate the law face fines and potential criminal charges for labor law violations. This law has improved working conditions for Greek retail employees during Black Friday. They still work hard, but they're not pushed to the point of collapse. The mandatory break gives them a chance to recharge, which actually makes them more effective for the rest of the day. Law number 30. In parts of Finland, it's illegal to falsely claim a product is eco-friendly in a Black Friday ad. Greenwashing became a huge problem during Black Friday. Stores realized that environmental consciousness was trendy, so they started slapping eco-labels on everything. Eco-friendly, green, sustainable. Most of these claims were complete nonsense with no basis in reality. Finland cracked down hard on this practice. If you claim a product is environmentally friendly, you need to be able to prove it. You need documentation showing what makes it eco-friendly. Is it made from recycled materials? Does it use less energy? Is it biodegradable? Whatever the claim is, you need evidence to back it up. The law applies to all environmental claims, not just the word eco-friendly. If you say something is green, or sustainable, or good for the planet, you need proof. Vague, unsubstantiated claims are illegal. Enforcement happens through environmental protection agencies and consumer protection authorities. If customers complain about misleading environmental claims, investigators look into it. They examine the product, review the manufacturing process, and determine whether the claims are valid. If they're not, the store faces significant fines. Finland takes environmental issues seriously, and they're not going to let corporations lie about their products to make more money. This law has forced stores to be honest about the environmental impact of their products. Some stores have stopped making environmental claims entirely because they can't back them up. Others have genuinely improved their products to be able to make truthful environmental claims. Law number 31. In some parts of Portugal, stores can't use the phrase "while supplies last" without specifying the exact quantity available. This is another transparency law aimed at preventing vague, misleading advertising. "While supplies last" sounds like useful information, but it actually tells you nothing. Are we talking about 5 units? 50? 500? Without knowing the quantity, you can't make an informed decision about whether it's worth showing up to try to get the deal. Portugal decided that vague inventory language is deceptive. If you're going to mention that quantities are limited, you need to say exactly how limited. "While supplies last" must be replaced with 25 units available, or whatever the actual number is. This law works in conjunction with other transparency requirements. Stores have to disclose quantities. They have to be honest about inventory levels. They can't use vague language to manipulate customers into thinking something is scarce when it's not. Enforcement happens through advertising standards authorities and consumer protection agencies. If ads use prohibited vague language, the store gets fined. Repeat violations result in escalating penalties. The effect of this law has been to make Black Friday advertising more informative. When you see an ad in Portugal, you know exactly what you're dealing with. You can make rational decisions about whether it's worth your time to pursue a particular deal. Law number 32. In parts of Mexico, it's illegal to change the price of an item once it's been added to someone's cart during an online Black Friday sale. This addresses a specific form of online fraud. Some retailers were implementing dynamic pricing systems that would detect when someone added an item to their cart and then increase the price before checkout. The customer would add a TV to their cart for $400, but by the time they went to checkout, the price had jumped to $500. The stores claimed this was due to high demand or limited inventory, but really it was just a way to extract more money from customers who had already committed to the purchase. Once you've added something to your cart and started the checkout process, you're psychologically invested. Most people will complete the purchase even if the price goes up a bit. Mexico decided this practice is fraud and made it illegal. Once a customer adds an item to their online cart, the price is locked for that customer. It doesn't matter if demand increases or inventory decreases. The customer who added it first gets it at the price that was displayed when they added it. The law has some reasonable exceptions. If there's a legitimate system error, or if a price was clearly a mistake, stores can cancel the transaction. But they can't just arbitrarily raise prices mid-checkout. Enforcement happens through consumer complaints and investigations. If customers report price changes during checkout, consumer protection agencies investigate. Stores that are found to have illegally changed prices face fines and have to honor the original price for affected customers. This law has made online Black Friday shopping in Mexico much more trustworthy. Customers know that the price they see is the price they'll pay. There are no surprise increases at checkout. Law number 33. In some areas of Argentina, stores must offer at least one payment plan option for Black Friday purchases over a certain amount. Argentina has dealt with economic instability and inflation for years. Many people can't afford to pay hundreds or thousands of pesos upfront for big-ticket items, even when those items are on sale, but they could afford to pay in installments over several months. Recognizing this economic reality, several Argentine provinces implemented laws requiring stores to offer payment plans for larger Black Friday purchases. If an item costs more than a certain threshold, typically several thousand pesos, the store must offer at least one installment payment option. The installment plans can't have excessive interest rates. The law caps interest rates to prevent predatory lending. The goal is to make Black Friday deals accessible to people who do not have a lot of cash on hand, without trapping them in debt. This law has made Black Friday more inclusive in Argentina. People who would otherwise be excluded from major purchases can participate. They can buy that TV or laptop or appliance and pay for it over time at a reasonable rate. Enforcement happens through consumer protection agencies and banking regulators. If stores offer payment plans with illegal interest rates or refuse to offer payment plans when required, they face fines and penalties. The law recognizes that Black Friday shouldn't just be for wealthy people who can afford to pay cash. Everyone should have access to the deals, and payment plans make that possible. Law number 34. In parts of Chile, it's illegal to mark up prices in the weeks before Black Friday just to discount them later. This is similar to the Massachusetts law we discussed earlier, but Chile has taken it a step further with more aggressive enforcement. The Chilean Consumer Protection Agency actually monitors prices year-round to catch stores engaging in false discount practices. Here's how the monitoring works. The agency tracks the prices of common items across major retailers throughout the year. They know what things typically cost. So when Black Friday rolls around and a store claims 60% off, the agency can check whether that discount is based on a real regular price or an artificially inflated pre-Black Friday price. If they find that a store raised prices just before Black Friday to make the discounts look bigger, the store faces serious consequences: fines, public shaming through government announcements, and even criminal charges in extreme cases. Chile does not play around with consumer protection. The enforcement has been very effective. Chilean retailers know they're being watched, so most of them have stopped trying to pull this scam. The Black Friday deals you see in Chile are generally based on real regular prices, which means they're actually deals. This law has made Chilean consumers more confident in Black Friday shopping. They trust that when they see a discount, it's a real discount, not marketing manipulation. Law number 35. In some regions of Colombia, stores are required to have clear signage indicating where exits are during Black Friday sales. This is a basic fire safety requirement, but it becomes especially important during Black Friday when stores are packed with people. In normal circumstances, regular customers probably know where the exits are. But during Black Friday, you have crowds of people who might not be familiar with the store layout. Colombia requires stores to have illuminated exit signs that are visible even in crowded conditions. The signs need to be large enough to see from across the store. There need to be multiple signs so that no matter where you are in the building, you can see a clear path to an exit. Additionally, stores need to have emergency lighting systems that activate if the power goes out. In a crowded store, a power failure could cause panic and stampedes. Emergency lighting helps people stay calm and find their way out safely. Enforcement happens through fire safety inspections. Inspectors visit stores during Black Friday to ensure compliance. If exit signs aren't adequate or emergency systems aren't working, the store can be shut down immediately. It's not worth risking people's lives over a shopping event. This law has prevented potential disasters. When everyone knows where the exits are, evacuations can happen smoothly if necessary. People don't panic because they can see a clear way out. Law number 36. In parts of Peru, it's illegal to use bots to purchase limited Black Friday items online. Bot purchasing became a massive problem for online Black Friday sales. Scalpers would write computer programs that could automatically purchase items the instant they became available. These bots could buy products faster than any human could, which meant the scalpers could grab all the limited inventory before real customers had a chance. Then the scalpers would resell the items at marked up prices. They'd buy a gaming console for $300 and sell it for $600. They provided no value. They were just parasites inserting themselves between retailers and consumers to extract money. Peru decided this practice is unfair and illegal. Using bots to purchase retail products is now classified as a form of fraud. If you're caught doing it, you face criminal charges. Your purchases can be voided. You can be banned from online shopping platforms. And you can be fined based on the value of the items you fraudulently purchased. Enforcement is technically challenging because bots can be sophisticated and difficult to detect. But retailers have implemented various detection systems. They look for purchasing patterns that indicate bot activity. Multiple purchases from the same IP address in milliseconds. Purchases that complete faster than humanly possible. These patterns trigger investigations. When bot users are caught, Peruvian authorities prosecute them aggressively. The government wants to send a clear message that this behavior won't be tolerated. Black Friday deals are for real customers, not automated scalping operations. Law number 37. In some areas of Venezuela, stores can't offer Black Friday deals on essential items like food and medicine. This law comes from a very different place than most of the others we've discussed. Venezuela has dealt with severe economic problems, including shortages of essential goods. The government doesn't want Black Friday sales to contribute to hoarding or artificial scarcity of items people need to survive. If stores were allowed to offer 50% off rice or medicine during Black Friday, wealthy people could buy up massive quantities at discounted prices. This would create shortages for everyone else. People who can't afford to stock up during a sale would be left without access to necessities. So Venezuela banned Black Friday deals on essential items. You can discount electronics, clothing, toys, furniture, whatever. But you can't discount food, medicine, hygiene products, or other necessities. Those items have to be sold at regular prices year-round, so everyone has equal access. The law defines what counts as essential, and the list includes basics like rice, beans, flour, cooking oil, soap, toilet paper, and medications. Stores can still sell these items during Black Friday, they just can't offer special deals on them. Enforcement happens through price monitoring and inspections. Government officials check stores during Black Friday to ensure essential items aren't being discounted. Violations result in fines and can even result in stores losing their licenses to sell regulated products like medicine. This law reflects Venezuela's specific economic situation and priorities. It's less about consumer protection and more about ensuring equitable access to necessities during times of scarcity. Law number 38. In parts of New Zealand, it's illegal to discriminate against customers based on how much they're spending during Black Friday sales. Some stores were creating two-tier systems during Black Friday. If you were buying a lot of expensive stuff, you'd get priority service, expedited checkout, and special treatment. If you were just buying a few cheap items, you'd be treated like a second-class customer. New Zealand decided this is discriminatory and unacceptable. Every customer deserves equal service regardless of how much they're spending. Whether you're buying a $5 item or a $5,000 item, you should be treated with the same respect and given the same level of service. The law prohibits stores from creating express checkouts or special services that are only available to big spenders. Everyone has to use the same queues and receive the same service. There are exceptions for loyalty programs that customers opt into, but you can't discriminate based solely on the size of a single transaction. Enforcement happens through customer complaints and human rights investigations. If someone feels they were discriminated against based on their purchase amount, they can file a complaint. If the complaint is validated, the store faces fines and mandatory anti-discrimination training for staff. This law reflects New Zealand's strong egalitarian values. Everyone is equal, whether you're rich or poor. Shopping shouldn't create a hierarchy where wealthy people get better treatment than everyone else. Law number 39. In some regions of Singapore, stores must have a clear refund policy posted at the entrance during Black Friday sales. This is all about transparency. Singapore found that many stores were changing their refund policies during Black Friday without clearly communicating those changes to customers. A store might normally accept returns within 30 days, but during Black Friday they'd reduce it to 7 days or eliminate returns entirely. Customers would make purchases assuming the normal refund policy applied, only to find out later that they couldn't return items they weren't happy with. This led to a lot of disputes and complaints. Singapore implemented a requirement that refund policies must be clearly posted at the entrance to any store running Black Friday sales. The policy needs to be large enough to read easily. It needs to be in plain language that customers can understand. And it needs to cover all the key information: time limits for returns, whether you need a receipt, what condition items need to be in, whether you get a refund or store credit. If a store's Black Friday refund policy is different from their normal policy, that needs to be clearly stated as well. Customers deserve to know upfront what they're agreeing to when they make a purchase. Enforcement happens through consumer protection agencies. If stores don't have clear refund policies posted, they can be fined. If they have policies posted but then don't honor them, they face bigger fines and potential legal action. This law has made Black Friday shopping more transparent in Singapore. Customers can make informed decisions knowing exactly what the refund situation is before they buy anything. Law number 40. In parts of Malaysia, it's illegal to sell counterfeit goods during Black Friday sales. You might think counterfeits are always illegal, and technically they are. But enforcement is often lax, and during major shopping events like Black Friday, counterfeit products flood the market. Fake designer bags, counterfeit electronics, knockoff clothing. Unscrupulous sellers see Black Friday as an opportunity to move fake products by mixing them in with real deals. Malaysia decided to crack down specifically during Black Friday. They implemented enhanced enforcement measures and increased penalties for selling counterfeits during major shopping events. The penalties are much steeper than they would be for selling counterfeits on a normal day. The government works with brand representatives to identify counterfeits. They do surprise inspections of stores during Black Friday. They also monitor online marketplaces for counterfeit listings. When they find violations, they seize the products, fine the sellers, and in some cases press criminal charges. The enhanced enforcement has been effective. Major retailers are very careful about their supply chains during Black Friday because they know inspections are likely. Smaller sellers have largely stopped trying to sell counterfeits during this period because the risk isn't worth it. This law protects consumers from being scammed and protects legitimate brands from having their reputations damaged by counterfeit products. Law number 41. In some areas of Thailand, stores can't advertise Black Friday deals in a language other than Thai without providing a Thai translation. This law is about preventing deceptive advertising through language barriers. Some stores were creating ads in English or Chinese that made certain claims, but when Thai customers asked about those deals, they'd find out the actual terms were different. The stores would claim it was just a miscommunication or translation issue, but really it was a deliberate attempt to mislead customers. By advertising in a language many customers couldn't fully understand, they could make promises they didn't intend to keep. Thailand shut this down by requiring translations. If you advertise in any language other than Thai, you must provide a complete and accurate Thai translation alongside it. The translation can't leave out important details or change the meaning. It has to be a faithful representation of what the original ad says. Enforcement happens through advertising standards authorities and consumer complaints. If customers report that an ad's translation doesn't match the original, investigators look into it. If they find the translation was misleading, the store faces fines and has to pull the ad. This law protects Thai consumers from being taken advantage of through language manipulation. It ensures everyone has access to the same information regardless of which language they're most comfortable with. Law number 42. In parts of Vietnam, it's illegal to pressure employees into working Black Friday if they've requested the day off in advance. Vietnam has strong worker protection laws, and this is an extension of those protections. Employees are allowed to request time off, and if those requests are approved, they can't be forced to work just because Black Friday is busy. Some managers were telling employees, "I know I approved your time off, but we really need you for Black Friday, so you have to come in." This put employees in an impossible position. If they insisted on taking their approved time off, they'd face retaliation. If they came into work, they'd have to cancel their plans and miss out on family time or other commitments. Vietnam made this practice illegal. If an employee has requested time off and that request has been approved, the employer cannot pressure them to work. They can't threaten their job. They can't promise rewards for coming in. They can't make them feel guilty. The approved time off stands, period. The law recognizes that Black Friday is important for retail businesses, but it's not more important than employees' rights to have time off. If a store is understaffed on Black Friday, that's a management problem, not an employee problem. Managers need to plan ahead and ensure they have adequate staffing without violating workers' approved time off. Enforcement happens through labor complaints and union involvement. If an employee is pressured to work during approved time off, they can file a complaint with labor authorities. Investigators will interview the employee, review communications from management, and determine whether illegal pressure occurred. If the complaint is validated, the store faces fines. The employee may also be entitled to compensation for the violation of their rights. In severe cases, managers who repeatedly pressure employees can face criminal charges for labor law violations. This law has improved work-life balance for Vietnamese retail employees. They know their time off will be respected, even during busy periods. This actually improves morale and loyalty, which benefits stores in the long run. Law number 43. In some regions of the Philippines, stores must donate a percentage of Black Friday profits to charity. This is one of the most interesting and progressive laws on this list. The Philippines decided that Black Friday shouldn't just be about corporate profits and consumer spending. It should also benefit the community, especially those who can't afford to participate in Black Friday shopping at all. Several regions implemented mandatory charitable contribution requirements. Stores running Black Friday sales must donate a certain percentage of their profits from that day to registered charities. The exact percentage varies by location, but it's typically between 2 and 5%. Stores can choose which charities to support as long as they're legitimate registered organizations. Many stores choose local charities that serve their communities. Others support national organizations focused on poverty relief, education, or healthcare. The law has several benefits. First, it ensures that Black Friday generates some social good beyond just moving products and making money. Second, it creates positive publicity for stores that support good causes. Third, it helps charities raise funds during a time of year when many people are in a giving mindset. Enforcement happens through financial audits. Stores have to report their Black Friday revenue and prove they made the required charitable contributions. If they fail to do so, they face fines that are significantly larger than the donation they were supposed to make. This ensures compliance. The law has been popular with Filipino consumers. Many people feel better about their Black Friday shopping, knowing that some of the money is going to help people in need. It adds a feel-good element to what is otherwise a pretty materialistic event. Law number 44. In parts of Indonesia, it's illegal to block fire exits with Black Friday merchandise displays. This is another fire safety law similar to what we saw in Texas. Indonesia has had several tragic fires in retail settings over the years, and fire safety is taken very seriously. During Black Friday, stores would set up massive product displays to showcase their deals. Sometimes these displays would be placed in front of or near emergency exits. The logic was that high-traffic areas near exits were prime real estate for displays. People walking toward exits would see the products and maybe make an impulse purchase. But this practice created serious safety hazards. If a fire broke out, people fleeing toward exits would run into these displays, causing confusion, delays, and potential injuries. Indonesia banned this practice entirely. Emergency exits must be kept completely clear at all times. No displays, no products, no decorations. Nothing that could impede someone's ability to quickly exit the building in an emergency. The law also requires clear signage leading to exits. In Indonesian stores during Black Friday, you'll see illuminated exit signs, floor markings showing exit paths, and staff positioned near exits to guide people if necessary. Enforcement happens through fire marshal inspections. Inspectors visit stores on Black Friday, and if they find blocked exits or inadequate safety measures, they can shut down the entire sale immediately. They don't mess around. Human life is more important than retail sales. Stores that repeatedly violate fire safety regulations can lose their operating licenses permanently. This creates a strong incentive for compliance. No store wants to risk their entire business over a poorly placed product display. Law number 45. In some areas of Taiwan, stores can't advertise "everything must go" sales on Black Friday unless they're actually closing permanently. This addresses a specific deceptive advertising tactic. Stores would run "going out of business" or "everything must go" sales to create urgency and attract customers. People would think the store was closing and rush in to get deals before it was too late. But the store wasn't actually closing. They'd run the same "going out of business" sale every few months. It was just a marketing gimmick to create false urgency. Taiwanese consumers got wise to the scam, but not before many people were deceived. Taiwan made it illegal. If you advertise an "everything must go" sale or claim your store is closing, you better actually be closing. You need to provide proof to advertising authorities that you're going out of business. Business closure filings, lease termination documents, something official that proves you're not just lying to customers. If you're caught running a fake "going out of business" sale, the penalties are severe: massive fines, criminal charges for fraud, public announcements warning consumers about the deceptive practices. The government really hammers stores that try to pull this scam. The law has cleaned up Black Friday advertising in Taiwan. You still see aggressive marketing and promotional language, but you don't see false claims about stores closing. Customers can trust that what they're being told is actually true. Law number 46. In parts of Hong Kong, it's illegal to resell Black Friday items at a markup within 48 hours of purchase. This law targets scalpers who buy up limited items just to immediately resell them at higher prices. It's particularly relevant for high-demand items like new gaming consoles, popular toys, or limited edition products. Here's how the scam works. Scalpers buy up all the limited stock of a hot item during Black Friday sales. Regular customers who wanted the item miss out. Then the scalpers list the items online at marked up prices. People who really want the item have no choice but to pay the inflated price. Hong Kong decided this practice is exploitative and implemented a cooling off period. If you buy something during a Black Friday sale, you can't resell it for more than you paid for 48 hours. After 48 hours, you can do whatever you want. But during that initial period, reselling at a markup is illegal. The law is enforced through marketplace monitoring and consumer reports. Online marketplaces like eBay and local selling platforms are required to report suspicious listings. If someone lists a brand new Black Friday item at a marked up price immediately after purchase, it triggers an investigation. If scalpers are caught, they face fines and their listings are removed. Repeat offenders can be banned from online marketplaces and face criminal charges for commercial fraud. The law isn't perfect. Scalpers have adapted by waiting the 48 hours before listing items or by using complex networks of buyers to obscure the paper trail. But it has reduced the immediate scalping that was so prevalent during Black Friday. Law number 47. In some regions of Iceland, stores must provide a quiet shopping hour for people with sensory sensitivities during Black Friday weekend. This is one of the most thoughtful and inclusive laws on this list. Iceland recognized that Black Friday shopping can be overwhelming for people with autism, sensory processing disorders, anxiety disorders, or other conditions that make them sensitive to noise, crowds, and stimulation. These individuals wanted to participate in Black Friday sales and get good deals like everyone else, but the typical Black Friday environment was too much for them to handle. The loud music, the crowds, the chaos, the sensory overload. It could trigger panic attacks, meltdowns, or other distressing reactions. Iceland implemented a requirement that stores must offer at least one quiet hour during Black Friday weekend. During this hour, the store operates differently. Music is turned off or kept very low. Lights are dimmed or changed to less harsh lighting. Staff are trained to be calm and patient. The number of customers allowed in the store at once is limited to prevent crowding. The quiet hour is advertised in advance, so people who need it can plan to shop during that time. It's typically scheduled during off-peak hours when the store wouldn't be super busy anyway, so it doesn't significantly impact sales. Enforcement happens through disability rights organizations and government accessibility offices. If stores don't provide the required quiet hour, they can be fined. More importantly, they face public backlash from advocacy groups and community members. This law has made Black Friday accessible to a whole group of people who were previously excluded. Parents of autistic children can bring their kids shopping without fear of triggering a meltdown. People with anxiety can participate without overwhelming stress. It's a beautiful example of how small accommodations can make a huge difference. Law number 48. In parts of Luxembourg, it's illegal to offer a Black Friday discount if the product was already on sale within the previous 30 days. This law prevents a common deceptive practice called rotating sales. Here's how it works. A store puts an item on sale in early November, 20% off. Then they take it off sale for a few days. Then on Black Friday, they put it back on sale at the same 20% off and advertise it as a special Black Friday deal. Technically, it's a Black Friday sale, but it's not actually a special deal. The item was already discounted at that same price just a couple weeks earlier. The store is using Black Friday branding to make people think they're getting something special when they're really not. Luxembourg closed this loophole. If you want to offer a Black Friday discount, the product needs to have been sold at full price for at least 30 days beforehand. This ensures that Black Friday deals are actually special, not just regular sales with Black Friday marketing. Enforcement happens through price monitoring and consumer complaints. Luxembourg's Consumer Protection Agency tracks prices throughout the year and compares them to Black Friday pricing. If they find violations, stores face fines. The law has forced retailers to be more strategic about their sales calendars. They can't just constantly rotate items on and off sale. If they want to participate in Black Friday, they need to actually offer genuine deals that are better than what customers could get a few weeks earlier. Law number 49. In some areas of Estonia, stores are required to have a maximum occupancy limit posted during Black Friday sales. This is a straightforward fire safety and crowd control measure. Every building has a maximum safe occupancy based on its size, layout, and exit capacity. During normal operations, stores rarely hit these limits. But during Black Friday, with massive crowds trying to get in, stores can easily exceed safe occupancy levels. Estonia requires stores to prominently display their maximum occupancy limit at all entrances during Black Friday. The number has to be large and clearly visible, and stores are required to actually enforce the limit. Once the store hits maximum occupancy, no more people can enter until some people leave. This requirement means stores need to have staff managing the entrance. They need to count people coming in and out. They need to politely turn people away when the store is full. It's extra work and expense, but it's necessary for safety. The maximum occupancy limits are determined by fire marshals and building safety officials. They factor in the square footage, the number and size of exits, the layout of the store, and other safety considerations. The limits are set conservatively to ensure safety even in chaotic conditions. Enforcement happens through fire marshal inspections. If a store exceeds its occupancy limit, the fire marshal can shut down the sale immediately and fine the store. If someone is injured because the store was overcrowded, the store faces massive liability. This law has prevented potential disasters. There have been no major crowd crush incidents at Estonian Black Friday sales since the law was implemented. People might have to wait in line to enter the store, but once they're inside, they can shop in relative safety and comfort. Law number 50. And finally, in parts of Turkey, it's illegal to advertise a Black Friday sale that doesn't actually offer a discount of at least 10%. This is the ultimate anti-fake sale law. Turkey got tired of stores advertising Black Friday sales, where the prices weren't actually discounted at all, or where the discounts were so tiny they were meaningless. $5 off a $200 item, 3% off, basically nothing. Turkey decided that if you're going to call something a Black Friday sale, it needs to be an actual sale. The law requires a minimum discount of 10% on any item advertised as part of a Black Friday promotion. If you can't offer at least 10% off, you can't call it a Black Friday deal. The 10% is measured against the regular price from the previous 60 days, not some inflated pre-sale price. This prevents stores from raising prices before Black Friday to make the discount look bigger. Enforcement happens through price monitoring and consumer complaints. Turkish consumer protection agencies actively investigate Black Friday advertising to ensure compliance. If they find stores advertising sales that don't meet the 10% threshold, they fine the stores and force them to correct the advertising. The penalties scale based on how egregious the violation is. If you advertised a 5% discount as a Black Friday deal, that's a relatively minor violation. If you advertised a huge Black Friday sale but didn't discount anything at all, that's serious fraud with much bigger consequences. This law has improved the quality of Black Friday deals in Turkey. When every deal has to be at least 10% off, customers know they're actually getting value. It's not a perfect system because stores can still inflate regular prices or choose their discount baselines strategically, but it's much better than having no requirements at all. So there you have it. 50 laws from around the world that prove Black Friday isn't just chaotic, it's legally complicated. And here's what really gets me. Every single one of these laws exists because something went horribly wrong. Someone got hurt, someone got scammed, someone died. These aren't abstract legal theories. These are responses to real tragedies and real problems. Think about what that means. We've created a shopping culture so intense, so aggressive, so dangerous that governments worldwide have had to step in with regulations. We're talking about laws to prevent people from trampling each other to death, laws to stop stores from lying about their deals, laws to protect workers from being exploited, laws to keep people from attacking each other with pepper spray over discounted electronics. When you step back and look at it objectively, it's absolutely insane. We've turned shopping into something that requires the same kind of legal framework as dangerous industrial activities. We regulate Black Friday the way we regulate construction sites or chemical plants. Because without those regulations, people get hurt. And yet, despite all these laws, despite all the regulations, despite all the warnings, and the news stories and the footage of past disasters, every year millions of people still participate. Every year stores still get mobbed. Every year fights still break out. Every year someone ends up in the hospital. The question we should be asking ourselves is, why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Are the deals really that good? Let's be honest, most Black Friday deals aren't actually amazing. With all the price manipulation tactics we've discussed, a lot of deals are barely better than regular sales. You might save $50 or $100 on a big purchase. Is that worth camping outside a store overnight? Is that worth fighting through crowds and dealing with stress and chaos? For most people, the answer should probably be no, especially in the age of online shopping, where you can find deals year-round without ever leaving your house. The rise of online shopping has actually reduced some of the worst aspects of Black Friday. You don't have to physically fight someone for a TV when you can just click a button from your couch. But even online Black Friday has problems, as we've seen with the laws about bot purchasing and price manipulation. The real issue is that Black Friday has become more than just a shopping day. It's become a cultural phenomenon, a tradition, an event. People participate not because they need the deals, but because it's what you do. It's become its own weird holiday, complete with its own rituals and traditions and shared experiences, and that's what makes it so hard to change. Even when we know it's problematic, even when we see the dangers and the manipulations and the problems, we keep participating because everyone else is doing it, because we don't want to miss out, because we've been conditioned to believe that Black Friday is special and important. But here's the truth that all these laws reveal. Black Friday is a manufactured event. It's not natural, it's not inevitable. It's something that retailers created and encouraged because it's profitable for them. And when it got out of control, when it started causing real harm, governments had to step in to manage the chaos. Every law on this list is a small admission that Black Friday as it exists is fundamentally broken. If shopping requires this many regulations to be safe, maybe we need to rethink the whole concept. Maybe we need to question whether any of this is worth it. Black Friday is wild, and we all know that. But what most people don't realize is just how heavily regulated it's become because of how wild it's gotten. From security requirements to crowd control laws, from advertising restrictions to worker protections, from environmental concerns to consumer safety measures, governments around the world have had to create entire legal frameworks just to keep Black Friday from turning into complete anarchy. Think about the scope of what we've covered. 50 different laws from dozens of countries, each addressing a specific problem that emerged from Black Friday chaos. Laws to prevent stampedes, laws to stop false advertising, laws to protect workers from exploitation, laws to ensure medical help is available, laws to prevent violence, laws to stop scalping, laws to make sure vulnerable populations can participate safely, laws to cap how long sales can run, laws to require honest pricing, laws to protect the environment from overconsumption. Every single one of these laws represents legislators somewhere looking at Black Friday and saying, this has gone too far. And they're right. When a shopping day requires this much legal intervention just to keep people safe, something is deeply wrong with the whole concept. But here's the thing. These laws also show that change is possible. Society can recognize when something is harmful and take steps to fix it. We don't have to just accept Black Friday chaos as inevitable. We can demand better. We can support laws that protect consumers and workers. We can choose to shop more responsibly. We can question whether we really need to participate in this madness at all. After learning about all these laws, I have a whole new level of respect for the retail workers who deal with this every year. They're not just dealing with crazy customers and exhausting shifts. They're navigating a complex legal landscape while getting paid minimum wage in most cases. They're the ones enforcing occupancy limits and checking IDs and managing crowds and trying to keep everyone safe. They deserve so much more credit than they get. I also have a lot more respect for the governments that have taken Black Friday seriously and implemented real protections. Places like Denmark that protect worker rights. Places like Iceland that make Black Friday accessible to people with disabilities. Places like the Philippines that ensure some of the profits go to charity. These aren't just feel-good measures. They're genuine attempts to make Black Friday less harmful and more fair. At the same time, I'm struck by how much these laws reveal about our priorities as a society. We've created a culture where shopping is so important, so intense, so all-consuming that we need laws to keep people from killing each other over it. That's not normal, that's not healthy, that's not something we should just accept as the way things are. So what's the takeaway here? If you're planning to participate in Black Friday, know the laws in your area. Be aware of your rights as a consumer. Understand what protections exist for you and for the workers serving you. Make informed decisions. Don't let stores manipulate you with false scarcity or fake discounts. Don't let the chaos and urgency push you into bad decisions. But more importantly, maybe take a step back and question whether you need to participate at all. Is that deal really worth the stress? Could you find a similar price online without dealing with crowds? Could you wait a few weeks and buy the same item on a normal day? Do you even really need the thing you're planning to buy? Or are you just caught up in the hype? Black Friday preys on our worst impulses. Fear of missing out? Competitive instincts? Desire for deals? Social pressure? All the marketing and advertising is designed to make you feel like you have to participate, like you have to get these deals, like you'll regret it if you don't. But you don't have to buy into that. You can opt out. You can choose not to participate in a system that requires 50 different laws just to keep people safe. And if you do choose to participate, at least do it responsibly. Be kind to the workers. Follow the rules. Don't push or shove. Don't be the person who makes these laws necessary. Remember that everyone around you is a human being, not an obstacle between you and a cheap TV. The laws we've discussed today are band-aids on a much bigger problem. They make Black Friday safer and fairer, which is good. But they don't address the fundamental issues with our consumer culture. They don't question why we've created a society where shopping is a competitive sport. They don't challenge the idea that we need to buy more stuff to be happy. Those are bigger questions that we all need to grapple with individually. What do we value? What kind of society do we want to live in? What kind of person do we want to be? These questions matter way more than whether you get a good deal on a TV. If you made it through all 50 laws, hit subscribe because I've got more weird law videos coming your way.